Hey guys, Shadylikeatree here, and welcome into Reminiscing with Shady episode 50. I find it extremely hard to believe that we are 50 episodes in now after a video series that's been more than a year and a half in the making, and here we are once again with episode 50. This is Need for Speed Underground 2. It was developed by EA Canada, published by Electronic Arts. In the Need for Speed series, of course. In my opinion, this is the best Need for Speed in the series, but we'll get to that more in a minute. It was released on Microsoft Windows, PS2, PlayStation Portable, Xbox, GameCube, Game Boy Advance, and also Nintendo DS. It was originally released in North America on November 15th, 2004. It was released a few days beforehand for PC, but the regular versions came out on November 15th, 2004. Oh my, this November, this game will be 10 years old. Hard to believe that. It does have some multiplayer elements to it, but I primarily played the single player elements. And before I get too far into it, the gameplay you're seeing, you're going to see a little bit of me kind of just open worlding this game. There's going to be right here, this is a drift race, and then there's going to be an underground racing league race, which I dominate. And then there's a little bit of outrun gameplay at the very end of this video. So the first thing I wanted to kind of share with you guys is how I came across this game, and this was in May of 2005, a few months after this game had come out. I was kind of into cars at that time, but I wasn't a big car junkie, and I'm still not to this day. But basically, I wanted a racing game because Ridge Racer had kind of outgrown its hold on me, and it hadn't really been fun for a while, but it was the only thing that really cured this itch of a driving game that I had. So I heard good things about the Need for Speed franchise, and I go to GameStop. At that time, it was EB Games, and I said, which one should I get? Should I get this one? It was, I think, $20 more, and I straight up asked the employee. I remember it very vividly. I said, so which one should I get? And he said to me, well, the really only difference between the two is this one's open world and this one's not. And I had no idea what open world meant at that point. And so he told me, and I was like, so is it worth it? And he goes, oh, definitely. So I bought the game, and sure enough, it became... This is always in my top 5, but I can say confidently right now, this is probably the game I've logged the most time in. Easily, I mean, I can't even begin. 1,000 hours, maybe. I mean, several weeks. I mean, I played this almost non-stop for 4 years, right up until I got Call of Duty. The first Call of Duty I got in 2008, which was COD 4. This was primarily what I played. I played this, and I played Madden, and that was the extent of what I played. And I can't tell you how many times I've beaten this game. It's so fun. I wanted to showcase the drifting because this is kind of one of my favorite things to do. This is like a low pressure race. You know, you don't have to win the race to win this. You just got to be the best drifter that's out there. And as you can see, drifting's kind of easy in the rain and tight technical tracks like these. And so you know, this game, I played it so many times, and like I said, I've beaten it a lot, and I've done a lot of different cars. And actually, this car right here, before anybody asks, is a Mitsubishi Eclipse. It's got a bunch of different modifications to it. It's got a top-tier engine, it's got top-tier handling, top-tier acceleration. So it's basically the best car you can make it. And what's really interesting is that the cars you unlock later in the game, and this was something that was kind of cool, is the best car isn't the car you unlock in a later game. I think it's like the Nissan Skyline is the best car you can possibly have, but I don't handle the Nissan Skyline very well. I do very well with all-wheel drive cars and rear-wheel drive cars, and I think it's a front-wheel drive, or the other way around. I forget what it is, but this is an all-wheel drive, and I'm just able to handle it better. And that's one of the cool things about this franchise, is that it gave kind of a lot of realism to a driving game like this, because, you know, each car handles differently. Not all the cars handle the same. They don't react the same. You can apply the same amount of pressure to two cars in the exact same situation in the exact same spot, and they will all react differently. And two, what this game also added was it added SUVs, and that was kind of a third element on top of this, because they're bigger, heavier, slower, and they take more time to stop. They are harder to control, and really it's SUVs are really for only the expert, as I do air quotes, drivers. And as you can see here, I'm about to annihilate the competition here in the URL Underground Racing League. Another thing I liked about this game was that Brooke Burke was in it. She plays one of the characters, Rachel, I think is her name, who's kind of the person showing you around town. Um, this game had kind of a very limited story to it. There wasn't any like action scenes like there are in some of the other Need for Speeds that are very simple. Um, but there was these comic book kind of film cuts, these comic book kind of scenes, and those kind of throw the story along and kind of help kind of tell what little bit of story there is. It's not a lot, but I think it's just enough to add kind of another layer and element, and plus Brooke Burke displays her female parts very well in this video, in the cartoon form of her, I should say, because it's not really a picture of her, it's just a cartoon kind of CGI version of her that's not really real, but still. And one of the other things I want to talk about this game, it's not ultra realistic like some of the more modern games like Forza and I forget what the other one is on PlayStation, but it got the job done for me. And I know that if you were, I'm about to go like 190 here, and if you were to hit the wall at 190 miles an hour like I do in this game, it would kill you easily. But because of how this game is and it's kind of arcadey style, you don't have to worry about like hitting the wall. Like right here, I actually hit it only at like 120, but you bounce right off of it and you can keep going and your car's fine. And that was one of the things I liked about this game. And one of the reasons why this game is my favorite over some of the others is I like that there aren't any cops. And that's one of the things about like the next Need for Speed games, which is like they sound cool and you can avoid the cops. And the next game was, I think, Most Wanted, and that one wasn't so bad because the cops weren't outrageously just on your butt the whole time. But I just don't like it when I have to worry about the police trying to always track me down, even when I'm not doing anything wrong. And I just like to sometimes just in my mind to go for a drive, because that's what I like. That's what I like to do whenever I'm like really stressed out or whatever. I just like to clear my mind and just go for a drive. But if I do it in this game, it doesn't cost me any gas money, because gas is $4 a gallon, $3 a gallon, something like that, depending on where you are. But I can just go for a drive and kind of empty out my mind and not have to worry about laws or if I make a mistake or whatever or any of that. But in the newer games, it's all about the cops and it's all about the robbers, and I'm sure that's what everyone likes, but that's just not my cup of tea. I like a laid-back game. I like a relaxing racing game, something with a tight track and an open world. And it would be really cool if they just remade this game, remastered it upon its 10-year anniversary. That would be really cool if they just like did a remake and gave it HD graphics and put it on the PS3 or PS4 or both or all of the above, and made it look super cool, and maybe changed the scenery and made it a little better and kind of updated some of the businesses and got more advertising for it. I'd buy that game. I'd pay $60 for that game. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't even think twice about paying $60 for that game. But I don't think it's going to happen, but I can hope that one day I will get a racing game like this again at some point. And as you can see, I absolutely destroy my opponents on there. That was the first half of a two-parter. I destroyed in the second half, but I thought I wouldn't show that to you because it would be kind of boring. But here you have, this is going to be some outrun gameplay right here, and he gets the best of me right here because he runs me into a cab and sends me flying. And I should mention that this car is a Shelby Mustang GT. It's almost but not quite fully tricked out. I have a few... I don't think it has like the top turbo in it. It doesn't have the top transmission in it, I don't believe. I think it's only a 4 or 5 speed as opposed to a 6 speed like the top transmission. But there's a lot you can do in this game, and there's a lot that you can just chill. You can customize cars, you can get money, and once you've beaten the single player missions, you can always go back, or once you've beaten the missions, you can always go back and race other racers and get more money and have build up new cars or get different cars or what have you. That's the thing that I will say. One thing about this game is that you can only have 5 cars, and I really wish that you could like have more. That's kind of like a whole garage full instead of just 4 cars in your SUV that you're required to keep. And my 4 cars are the 240SX, which is the first car you get in the game. That car was kind of my favorite car for a while because it was the one I tricked out the most and made it look the coolest. I have, of course, this car, the Shelby Mustang GT. I have a Nissan 350Z, and I think I have an Escape, as well as, of course, the Eclipse, which is what I previously was driving. And so, yeah, there was just a lot of fun to be had with this game. I enjoyed it thoroughly through and through, and as you can see, I'm just kind of taking a nice high-speed drive around the freeway here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Reminiscing with Shady. This has been episode 50, one of my favorite games of all time, Need for Speed Underground 2. Take care, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.